Oh, we need a mic. We need a mic. There we go, peoples. How's it going, everybody? Hopefully you found this all right. We are currently on the Richmond course in Zwift. I'm here just making a quick early announcement. I want to say a huge thank you to our sponsor today, Loft and Shove. I will also be making announcements in-game continually. We are having a King of the Mountain Preem. First one to the top of the King of the Mountain today will receive $25 via PayPal or Google Wallet only. And then the prize list also for first, second, and third today is $25 to first, $15 to second, and $10 to third. They're not huge prizes. We are just throwing some things out there to see how it works to begin with, but we definitely want to grow this. And so, yeah, we're super excited to have Loft and Shove on board, as well as Vision Cycling is thrown in a little bit too. So shout out to both of our sponsors for the King of the Mountain and the prize list today. We will shoot messages continually out in-game for those prizes so people fully understand what is coming and what is happening. Let's go ahead and head over to the start line. So yeah, first King of the Mountain though. So up the first King of the Mountain right here, this banner right here is going to be where the prize will be given for a King of the Mountain Preem. First time up. We wanted to do that because we wanted to make it a little more open to the rest of the field, as some may not be able to have the continuance all the way through the entire race, but maybe be able to challenge directly up front. So yeah, we're gonna have a King of the Mountain, and then to first, second, and third place there will be prizes. Those details are also below. Z-Power is not able to win. I apologize to anyone who has had expectations around that, but we're not going to estimate that much in order to give out real prize money. Estimations in that respect will not be allowed in for prize money. We're heading up to the start line now. So we're going to go back to our race start screen, and I will be right back. I'm going to make a few announcements a few other places. We have audio. There we go. And the race is rolling out, underway. We want to go ahead and give a shout out real quick to our presenting sponsor today, Loft and Shove. Huge thank you to Loft and Shove MTB Gear for hooking up the preems today. Vision Cycling as well for setting up the King of the Mountain. Loft and Shove presenting our prize list to the top 3 today, as well as Vision Cycling throwing down the King of the Mountain prize. So today we're going to send out a bunch of messages right up front. Welcome today as well to all of you who are watching. We are broadcasting from Vision Cycling headquarters. I am Nathan Guerra. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, no matter where you are in the world, as this is very much an international event. We are broadcasting the Zwift training race. If you do not know what Zwift is, there is a link in my channel below. You can learn all about it or visit Zwift.com. This is virtual cycling. This is a user-organized race, and we have what looks to be a huge group of at least 50 plus riders, with an A group, a B group, and a C group. I'm gonna go ahead and send some messages out to the pack to let them understand KOM prize. First lap, people. $25 to first ZTR racer to top of KOM. Please, if you are in race right now, let them know a little bit, maybe send a message or two out as well. I hope everybody can understand. We tried getting the message out as much as possible, while at the same time trying to keep the benefit of sponsoring a race a reality. So we want to drive as many people to the stream, obviously, as possible to understand a little bit more about Loft and Shove, as well as Vision Cycling. But we definitely have some great prizes that were put up by sponsors today. We need to silence the phone. I will not be, just so the chat knows, I'll be responding here and there, but I'm going to try and keep all of my focus on the race and kind of commentating mode, but I'll respond here and there. If you have anything that you want to do as a shout out, or anything you want to do as a, some sort of a, you know, commentary of your own on the race or anything, I will definitely pay attention to chat as far as things that have to do with the race and give those shout outs to you in chat as well. This is a huge group today, extremely international. Holy cow. I see Belgium, Portugal, USA, Great Britain, Australia, New Zealand, huge amount, Canada, huge amount of racers. It looks like we have a few women possibly racing as well, which is great to see. A little bit of a change up from the mainly been male dominated pack. Here's Cassie from Team DZI, Team Z, pronounced Z. You see it as DZI, but riding in the Gamba kit. We'll go ahead and give her a quick little highlight as she has sent over some of her information about her background in racing. Cassie Baldy from Team Z, nationality, she is from Britain. She's British. Hometown is London, age 27. Stands at 170 centimeters and 56 kg. Best real result is she won the Nicholas Jalabert female category and age group category in 2015. Her main discipline is road racing, and she's been cycling for 7 years. And Cassie has been Zwifting for about the last 7 months. So great to see a female competitor in this large group of a whole lot of testosterone surrounding her. Hopefully she can throw down and get a little bit more competition amongst the women. If there are any women out there and that I do not know about in this in the groups of racers, please message me on Facebook, message me in chat, let me know so that I can throw you a highlight in these races. I'd really appreciate it very much. Let's go ahead and make sure the racers understand. King of the Mountain Preem, $25 to first. ZTR to the top. James Gill here, the organizer of the race, getting things organized, making sure that everybody stays behind him. Currently what's happening in this race, they are not currently racing until now. They just actually started. That was a rollout for the racers. So it's a neutralized rollout until they hit that first sprint banner. And let's go ahead and take a look at the front of the race. Now there are 3 races currently happening actually during the entirety of the ZTR race. Essentially, and here's Cassie on the front from Team Z just taking off right away. There is a ZTR EB A, B, and C category of races. Those categories are split up by what you can hold for watts per kilogram. Essentially 4.0 watts that you can hold per kilogram of weight is and plus is all A category. Between 3 and 4 is all B category, and under 3 watts per kilogram for functional threshold power. So that is what you can do for 1 hour. How many watts can you hold for 1 hour? You do a little ratio with your weight, and watts per kilogram is what you get with that. And whatever you can hold for 1 hour, it kind of sets up what category you should be in. The A's can all hold somewhere between 4 plus, somewhere in that 4 plus category watts per kilogram of weight. The B's 3 to 4, and the C's under 3, essentially. So again, today there are prizes on course. There will be a $25 King of the Mountain Preem on this first lap. And then there will be to first, second, and third place prize money. There will be $25 to first, $15 to second, and $10 to third place on course today. Just make sure everybody hears it. I keep sending it out because I want to make sure that they all know. So it looks like they're all going to kind of just stick together. Usually is how it goes for this this course on the first half of this course. This course, as you can see, the course profile up here in the upper right hand, they started at where this banner is right here, and then it just looped right back over here. Okay, so up in the upper right hand corner, you can see my cursor here. Okay, for all those who are not familiar with the Richmond Worlds course, this is the Richmond Worlds course. Zwift created this course based on the Worlds course that was in Richmond this year, where Road World Championships had taken place. So the course starts out extremely flat, as you can see, with only very little undulation. The whole pack usually sticks together, and then they have this big drop down right here, very fast downhill. And right here is where the pack is, where my cursor is, this little orange dot right here, for those of you who are wondering where are they on this course. And then it's going to drop down, and then as you can see, there's 3 major climbs, right? Major climbs here on the course. They're not long, but they're extremely punchy. And so what usually happens is there's some huge VO2 max efforts that get put out, and they usually split up the group at that point. So the group is all sticking together in game. There is definitely drafting. Okay, so in this game there is definitely drafting. That's why they're all sticking together. Just like in a real race, there is a huge amount of drafting happening. And they're all just kind of sitting and looking at each other. Just like in real life, you can draft off of other individuals. Well, it's the same way in Zwift, that you can draft off of other people's avatars, and it is actually easier for these individuals to pedal and keep up with whoever is in front of them. So these are actually all real people on their bikes pedaling somewhere in the world on a trainer, producing the power that you are seeing in the upper left hand corner whenever I select their avatar on the right hand side. So on the right hand side, for those of you as well who are not familiar with this, there's a huge list of riders that's shooting all over the place, essentially because they're all closely grouped together right now. As you can see, every rider on the right hand side has 0, the numbers of 0, 0, 0 for time next to each other. That is the time gaps between them. There is no time gap currently between Andy Self out of Great Britain, and the rest of these people right now. So this essentially is the pack that we are seeing on the right hand side of the screen right now. And as I go ahead and select each one of these names, it pops into their avatar. Now, because there's a huge group of riders, it's a little more difficult for the program to pick out those riders when I click on their avatar, unless I switch camera views. So if I go ahead to the helicopter view, now it is on B. De Vrint, I believe. That's how you pronounce it. And he coming from Belgium. And We're going to the helicopter view, and we have just the above view looking straight down at the pack moving forward. And then we can go right down to his first person view, actually, if we wanted to. So this is the Belgian rider's first person view. He is actually on the front at this point, producing 280 watts per kilogram, is about 4, and he is at 110 RPMs or 156 heart rate. So we are going to need to get a great view here of the upcoming KOM. Keep reminding them. Keep reminding them. And who is going to win this? That's the question. We have some big hitters in Zwift today. Some real big hitters in Zwift today. We're gonna see how this ends up playing out. There's some names I've never seen before. I've never seen a lot of these names. There's some new Belgian riders I've never seen. The Finnish rider. There's let's see, who's this from the Netherlands here? And it becomes, when they're all packed together like this, it does become extremely difficult to grab their names. Okay, Ernst Tempelar. So Ernst has won these races plenty in the past. I do pick him for a favor today to win the race. He's won 3 so far. He's only started Zwifting back in September, and I have a feeling he is setting up for the climb right now. We'll see how this goes up this first climb. I'm really happy the way that we are doing this with the climb up front, as it will give some a chance who have a really great VO2 max, perhaps, in that first like just 3 to 5 minute effort is really great, but they're unable to hold off for the rest of the race. We should see a great race to the top here for this King of the Mountain Preem. Again, I want to give a shout out to Loft and Shove. We will go ahead and link them shortly here in the stream. Thank you very much to Loft and Shove Mountain Bike Gear for supplying today's prize list for the top 3 overall, as well as thank you to Vision Cycling for providing as well, chipping in for the KOM. And here we go. $25 at the top, boys. $25 at the top. Are we going to see an attack right off the front? Right off the front? Maybe, maybe not. And PK right off the bat, he wants it. He wants it bad. He wants it super bad, it looks like. We're going to go ahead and stay on this view as much as we can so we get it correct. And JT looks like he's like saying, no way, boys and girls. This $25 is mine. He is being chased down by C. DeGrom at 13 watts per kilogram. PK at 10. Can JT hold this pace? I don't know. Look at him just absolutely hammering up and over the top. He's got a 2-second gap, 3-second gap. I think it's all his. I think it's said and done at this. But PK right on his wheel. Oh my goodness, this is a great battle for this Preem. Great battle for this Preem. Open it up. PK's gonna have to seriously put in an effort to get past him. Oh my goodness, is PK gonna pull it off? I think he is. I think he is. Oh, this is so close. The Team Z battling out, and Peter Klein pulls off the KOM. Congratulations to Peter Klein. Congratulations. Peter with $25 in his pocket. Nicely done. Nicely done, Peter Klein. Great, great, great. And for a highlight on exactly who is Peter Klein, wow, and they had pulled off a 12-second gap on the pack at this point. And Alex Lush and Jay Bobbink trying to pull that back in Team Z is already off the front. Is Ernst going to continue with this effort? I'm not sure. And Peter Klein and Ernst from Tempelar from Team Z, both off the front. Teammates battling for that $25 premium from Loft and Shove. Great battle there. That was awesome. And C. Shum was calling it. N-Law wins the KOM. Sorry, Shum. You lose. Did you have bets? Did we have bets down on that one? Oh, man. So, let's see here. It looks like Ernst is going to continue now, as he does have a gap on the rest of the field. I wonder if he can continue this effort all the way through. Peter Klein now. He's Danish. He's currently in London, the UK. The winner of our KOM. He's 44 years of age, 184 centimeters and 72 kilograms. His main disciplines are multi-day stage races, endurance races, crits, track, MTB, and all-important cake rides with his buddies. Pretty amazing punch there from Peter Klein. Extremely impressive, actually. A few of his top places in local crick races over the year. Last year, captain a winning team in the Troyes Etapa Giro Pro-Am race in Italy with Team Z in real life, actually. So these guys actually do race in real life and not just in Zwift. Also raced for a 4-man Z team in the Swiss Tour endurance race. So it seems like the endurance specialist here also has some kick, though, as he went ahead and grabbed that $25 up and over the top, sponsored by Vision Cycling and Loft and Shove. And now it looks like we have, is this guy? This is actually off the front, a little bit of Z Power. Andy Self, Chmielewski chasing this down. Bjersen is off the front, though, from Belgium. Belgium just has like a 1 or 2 second gap. C. De Gram from TK.BE, as well as Yersin from TK.BE. All working together, it looks like now, to try and hold off the rest of the group. E. Angeli from the USA, one of our only US riders that I have seen actually in the ZTR early bird edition, as this is midday in the US, able to make this front group. So it looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-ish riders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 riders in this lead group. And I am not seeing Ernst at this point. Where is Ernst? And PK is with them. Is JT here? Is JT off the front? I do not believe he is. I do not believe he is. Did I get the correct, so JT, it says, took the KOM, but I saw Klein come up over, yeah, he's right here. I didn't see him because, thank you very much, Dodger. I didn't see him because he, had the KOM jersey on. It says he took the KOM, and PK was actually 0.99 behind him, but I think the first one over the line was PK. Which is interesting. I will have to look back through the results. Look at how close that was. The view for me, and we'll look at the replay. The view for me had PK coming up over the top first, but in game it gave the KO of the mountain to Ernst. So we'll have to take a look at the replay after the race to have the exact, but it definitely went to Team Z. Team Z pulled off the King of the Mountain result today. And so Again, we are now coming around on Richmond course with about 12 riders or so. They hammered up and over this climb. It is kind of spread out at this point. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 forming at the front with a few stragglers right off the bat with D. Ronan, 1, 2, 3, 4 with D. Ronan coming out of Ireland, De Grom coming out of Belgium, and Bobbink coming out of the Netherlands here, trying to bring back this lead group that's just 2 seconds up. It looks like it's all going to come back together, though. It does not look like that group is going to hold off these 3 chasers. Now, behind them, we have, it looks like the next riders on course that are in the ZTR race is this group of N. Clark, kind of in no man's land, just off the back of these guys. And looks like he had tried to hold on and is now just coming up over the top of that climb and is perhaps blowing up, actually, is what we'd call it in the cycling world. Yersin has been allowed to go. He is on Z-Power. He will be allowed to just continue on at this pace without and have an asterisk next to his result, essentially, is what ends up happening with Z-Power, as he is the unofficial winner, but an asterisk next to the name with Z-Power. Apologies if the setup is correct, but Z-Power, as far as the Vision Cycling results go here and what we count, we do not usually, we do not count those, especially not for the prize money, just so everyone knows. Andy Self, now here, coming out of Great Britain, hanging at 155 beats per minute, 256 watts, 91 RPM. They are definitely still working pretty hard for him to be pulling 4 watts per kilogram on course. Jan Eiken, coming out of Belgium, also from TKBE. TKBE is very well represented today. At the last race, we only had 2 riders from TKBE that I could see. It was C. de Gram and Titgat. And now it looks like they're starting to show up in force, these Belgian riders, perhaps getting prepared for the Zwift Worlds race coming up this weekend. There is a Zwift Worlds race this weekend with Worlds teams, each team being from their own nation, racing this weekend, actually. Go to the Zwift Riders group and you'll be able to see that on the right hand side in the events on that group. It looks like the group did pull in Yersin actually, though. It doesn't look like they're going to let him go, and they're all most likely going to be not working too hard and kind of just looking at each other. I do see these little punches coming, though, so perhaps they are trying to make something happen on these flats. Usually on these flats, nothing really takes place, but now we have Jay Van Eycken on the front at 4.0 watts per kilogram, coming out of Belgium from TKBE, 157 beats per minute. So when we see that between 140 to 160, usually and most likely they're not at limit, they're more at a tempo pace, the usual pace for the average power of the entire race. And then there are times when the pressure is put on during the climbs when watts per kilograms really, really matter. And so it looks like Peter Klein is off the back of this group. It looks like he gave everything he had. Oh, that's what bike came loose of kicker. So Peter Klein giving everything he had for that KOM to get that $25. He made his bike come right off the kicker. He has had a mechanical issue. He had to go back to the team car to get a new bike. Peter Klein off the back, usually making the front group from Team Z, had a mechanical getting that King of the Mountain. And now we have one. This guy's in workout mode. We got a workout mode. We got a workout mode avatar here. One of our. I don't think he's a racer, but one of the guys in the pro peloton here decided it's time to do intervals. It looks like, and perhaps is now off the back though, or going off the front in the midst of his intervals. Where is this guy? There's somebody here with a workout mode enabled amongst the group. There he is. Where is this guy? N. Dudley? No? Yes, so N. Dudley, sporting the workout mode, hanging out at 3.0, 2.9 watts per kilogram, hanging out on a TT bike. This guy is not in the race. He does not have ZTR next to his name. He just happened to be, they happened to come upon this man on this open course during the race on his time trial bike, and he is hanging out amongst the group doing his perhaps FTP test or some sort of interval that the newly released Zwift workout mode has just been put into the game. So that is giving him currently some sort of a watts to hold up in front of his avatar. From this view, he'll see some watts to hold right up above him right here, and then instead of these leaderboards on the left-hand side, he'll see his workout structured on the left-hand side for time intervals that he is supposed to hold different kinds of wattages during. And so they just happened upon this, and there's a great new feature in Zwift that I'm currently using. I did 2x20s on Sunday, and I tried the Gordy and failed horribly. The Gordy and failed horribly at it on Saturday with the VO2 max efforts of 5 minutes on, 5 minutes off. Great new resource in Zwift. But yeah, Dudley is definitely not racing. TT bikes are not allowed also in races, and workout mode would not be enabled for anybody who is actually racing. I wouldn't think anyone would do that. So it looks like this group has established itself fairly well. The chase behind is coming from C. Ganderton, all alone in no man's land. Oh, Ganderton really having to suffer, throwing down at his threshold most likely, just continually sitting at that 3.9 to 4.0 watts per kilogram. Kudos to him. Huge ride on to Ganderton, coming out of Great Britain, trying to chase down that lead group in a solo effort. Oh my goodness. And the next back is 34 seconds with this huge group of riders. So he is really in no man's land trying to bring back this group of elite A riders in the front. Ganderton out in no man's land, just suffering about 34 seconds up from this chase group and about 30 seconds back from the leaders. So that is definitely a no man's land effort. Kudos to him, and hopefully he can find that extra energy, and a shout out from us giving him a ride on to go find it. Look at the watts come up now as he most likely knows that he is on live on screen at this point, sitting at that 4.8, suddenly 4.9. Go get it, Ganderton. I hope that you can make the juncture. It's about 21 seconds to that front group, but now we see on the front at 3.8 in a group, it's going to be very difficult to pull back this group. And the group actually perhaps is going pretty quick here, as we see E. Angeli out of the USA at 168 beats per minute on the heart rate. 164 from Vriend out of Belgium. Andy Self 134 though, one of the stronger riders from past results, as I could tell. And look at how cool he is looking with that avatar and the bike setup in the Tour de Pier. Looking pretty slick there, Andy, with the full-on light blue and these shades hanging down with no helmet. Great setup. 139 beats per minute. Looking cool, staying calm, maybe playing it pretty smart actually, with where the heart rate is at. Now you can really see who is suffering in this front group and who is not, who is comfortable and who is not, where we have Titgat as well at about 146 beats per minute. Bobbink at 161, working on the front, perhaps just to say, hey, I don't want anybody coming back to this group. When I get dropped, if I do get dropped, I want to be able to hold off everybody else. So, yeah. And Allison Duck, Allison, one of our Zwifters hanging out in channel in the Twitch chat, says, go Jens Voigt. Go Jens Voigt. Allison, who is Jens Voigt to you in this group here? That's what I want to know. And now they're just passing under that sprint banner for, I believe that's Broad Street sprint banner that they just went under. And still a large group, most of them comfortable to sit in and not do too much work. I want to take a look back at Ganderton. It looks like the gap is going out. It is rised to 30 seconds at this point. I'm not sure that he's going to be able to bring it in, but they did just go down the downhill, and so there is that. There is the fact that they are going downhill and he is on a flat at this point. And so the time gaps do increase and then decrease depending on what kind of incline or decline the person in front is. It is not an estimated time or anything. It's the actual time that they are ahead of you. And so because of that, the time gaps, depending on what kind of terrain the group or people in front of you or behind you are, will drastically decrease and increase because they caught up in distance because you go much slower uphill, but then when they hit the hill, they do too. And it looks like this large group being led out by Frank Garcia from X-A. I'm not sure if Team X now, it's no longer X1 and X2. It looks like they have just consolidated to a X team, Team X. We're going to call them the X-Men. Alright, X-Men, representing the X-Men. Frank Garcia, along with, it looks like about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 riders. I'm not sure, I do not think the German rider, the female rider, is racing with them. I think she's tagging along at this point with the group. So, this is your official chase group number 2 on the road, and then up the road a little ways we have a single chaser out in somewhat of a no man's land, Ganderton, and then 50 seconds up the road we have the lead group of about 10 riders or so, containing some of the race favorites. Ernst, who has won the last 2 that I have broadcast, actually, looking to make it a triple crown at this point, with a 3rd win in a row. We'll see if he can pull that off. Again, this is the ZTR Zwift training race, early birds, on the new Zwift software, virtual cycling. And today we do have a sponsored prize list. The King of the Mountain has already been won, but we have to go back to a review after the race, a replay, as we do have this all recorded, and take a look at what exactly happened, because it is so close with that KOM. The standings here in game tell me that Ernst took it at 59.86, but my view, looking down at the riders, says that it was actually Peter Klein. And look at it, it is a 10th. It was a little over a 10th of a second difference between the two. It was right there, but it was a $25 sponsored by Vision Cycling and Loft and Shove MTB gear today, to the first one to the top of the KOM. And now we have a prize list today. First place today will be winning $25, second place $15, and third place $10. That's a shout out all to Loft and Shove. Go ahead and check out Loft and Shove at loftandshove.com. Loft endshove.com, all real words, MTB gear. Go ahead and show our sponsors some love. If you're enjoying the broadcast today and it's your first time here on Twitch, go ahead and hit that follow button. It shows a lot of support for our broadcast. It helps us to continue our broadcasts and grow the stream. If you are viewing on the VOD on YouTube, hit that subscribe button on YouTube, as well as visit the Twitch channel below in the description. In the video description, there will be a link to the Twitch channel, and go hit that follow button in Twitch. I'd really appreciate the support, as well as the rest of the Zwifters here, who are also a huge part of showing up and growing this online community of riding, training, and racing for a sport that we all love and want to see grow in this virtual venue, which is available to anyone, anywhere, at all times. And we have a few Team Z. We have a few Team Z in chat today, saying go to their teammate Ernst Tempelar, and Ernst says PK did win. He is actually in right now, and he's chatting while attacking. Pretty amazing, Ernst. Oh my gosh, the multitask is real. And he is saying that his teammate PK won, and I would have to agree from what I saw from the third person. But now here comes Ernst with a 9.5 watts per kilogram, 640 watts, coming up and over these cobble climbs on the Zwift Richmond Worlds course. Quite the effort being put out here. Now dropping down to 5.0. That initial kick maybe just making a little bit of a separation. Let's see if we can see any chasers coming behind. There's a 1 second gap to DeGrom coming from TKBE out of Belgium. And here comes Jursen coming up and over the top. I'm not sure they're going to follow the Z Power though at this point. Alexis Luge coming out. Is it Alexis? Is Alexis. Alexis Luge coming from France, coming up over the top of that effort now. And the Polish rider, Chmielewski, who is on Z-Power, but seems to have a pretty good setup, as it isn't always completely out of control. But again, the official results from Vision Cycling's point of view at the end of the race today will be regular power, just so everyone knows. But great effort, though, by the Polish rider, sitting at 185 beats per minute. It is not like these Z-Power people are not working, okay? They are definitely working. They're not all just Autobots. There's definitely a real effort being put out. It's not to, shame them in any way from any of us, and I think it's great. The more people that can ride Zwift, the better. We all believe in that. When we put real money on the line, though, we just want to make it correct and make sure that they're as close to the real thing as can be. Jay Van Eycken now from TKBE, a newcomer from what I know about Zwift and the community, looks to be roped into the team from DeGrom, has gotten some teammates roped in now saying, come race with us. And here we go up and over this next cobble climb. This one's a real kicker, very short but very, very hard at 12%. And here's Van Eycken just killing it for the Belgians at this point. And Ernst able to follow, it looks like, right behind him. And this Jursen, as well as from TKBE, coming past him up and over the top, gaining a quick 3 seconds over the rest of the field. Ernst just covering the move from Team Z. It looks like this group is not going to get much separation. Let's see here. They were able to drop off, it looks like. Verent, the Belgian, was dropped off. K Little came unraveled off the back, it looks like, as well. And D Ronan here having a pretty amazing race, actually. Coming from a C group, only 50 seconds back at this point. It looks like K-Little, though, off the back now, and Vrent off the back a little bit, too, as well. And this lead group kind of separating, though. It looks like even more separation is being created. A-Self having to put down a serious effort just to hang on in the slipstream. Andy Self making sure he does not get left in the dust, as sudden gaps on this course can seriously create some issues. Maybe overestimating what was needed to stick with that group, though, as he just quickly finds himself on the front after throwing down 8 watts per kilogram. That is something in game, just so everybody knows, that the riders can overestimate the effort needed to get back with the group, and the avatar will quickly come into the group and then fly up toward the front. And so there is a learning curve about what is needed. There is also a judgment call, though, because you need to know what kind of effort is being put down on course, and kind of look at how it's working out at the front of the group, how many watts per kilogram they're actually throwing down. So being very aware of the riders on the right-hand side of the list and looking at what they're actually doing at the moment while you're trying to catch a group is actually very important during extended attacks or extended closings of gaps. It looks like E. Angeli out of the USA, representing the USA. Go USA! As I am an American. Go, go, go. We have not had a victory yet from my broadcast coming out of the land of the brave just yet. And so go E. Angeli. Let's see what he can throw down. Throwing down that 355 watts. He's at 181 beats, 182 beats per minute. He is definitely trying to make this group hurt and break apart at this point. And Yurt's sitting at 162, just hanging in there to cover the move. Andy Self, it looks like this move will be covered at this consistent effort up and over this final climb on the lap. They are doing 3 laps today. It looks like the group has 1 lap to go. They're all pretty much together still at this point for who had made this lead group up and over that first and second climb. At the end of the course here, the 2 KOMs, and then the final climb up and toward the finish. It looks like DeGrom is hanging out here on the back, making sure he's just going to hang in. Nobody putting in too much of a continuance up and over the climb. I mean, 4.6 watts per kilogram or so is somewhat of a continuance. Maybe Andy's saying, hey, maybe we can make it hurt up and over the top, but unless he's sitting in that 5 to 7 watt range amongst this group, he is pretty much just going to be pulling them along, is what's going to be happening. Go UK, R Payne coming from chat. I will try and find Rob Payne representing Vision Cycling on course. We don't want to lose our ride leaders. I apologize to those who are here to spectate anyone who is not at the front or chase groups of the A race. Currently in beta, in race mode, being an open course with 303 people on course. If I were to leave this front group and go too far away from them, I would lose them altogether and maybe not be able to broadcast the race, as I wouldn't be able to find the front of the race and see who the winners are, etc. on the front of the race. And so I will do my best as it calms down with riders around to find other people on course. That is hopefully, and also a suggestion coming from Nathan Garrett Zwift, to somehow create a way to better spectate the riders as we go into a live marketplace product, which I am so happy about. Take my money and develop the awesomeness of this venue. And I'm hearing from Hugo at Team Z out of chat that DeGrom had just made a monstrous FTP test, and we expect he's got loads left for the last. Right on. That sounds great. DeGrom coming from TKBE. Let's see if we have a race on our hands here between DeGrom and Ernst. This front group now sitting at about 138 beats per minute from Tietgat, 147 from Urison, Angeli at 168. Oh, and Angeli has made a move, it looks like. What is this? 1, 2 seconds, 3 seconds off the front. Will they chase him down? He does not have a team to work with, which is too bad. Nobody can kind of just sit on the front for him and control the race. He'll have to make it a solo effort if he wants to get away. Quite the attack coming, and a brave attack to be making at this point in the race. It looks like he's being chased down, though, as these riders come up from behind, and it looks like Van Eycken from TKBE has shut down the attack from the American. The Belgian team, Van Eycken now, shutting that down. And will a counter be launched, or will these two just go off the front, as these two are about 2 seconds up from the next field of riders? As you can see from the first person view of Chmielewski, there is a little gap here. Urison, as you can see here, trying to pull in this little bit of a gap. We go to Angeli's view, and the only one within 1 meter is Van Eycken. As you can see here, when you're in the first person view, you can see the meters behind, and there is a 10-meter gap right now to Urison at about 1 second. Now it is 0, but still, this is a strung out group. It is not comfortable right now, as Angeli is at 171 beats per minute, Van Eycken at 162, Urison sitting at 141, but on some Z power perhaps. 156, so Ernst playing the smart game, allowing his teammates perhaps to do work, but I'm not seeing any Team Z here with him. Ernst has been soloed out, isolated from the rest of his team. In the past, I've watched past broadcasts where he has won. He has always had 1 or 2 teammates around him. So we'll see if he can still pull off that monstrous effort after going for the big KOM $25 premium from Loft and Shove today earlier. Let's see how this ends up going, with Ernst not having any teammates around him to support. And we have TKBE being able to play the cat and mouse game perhaps a little bit as well. Now, it is interesting how the dynamics can play out here with Tietgat and DeGrom and Urison. Now, Urison being on Z-Power, they might not even chase him, saying it's just Z-Power, but DeGrom and Tietgat, they may chase. That team having 3 in this front, we could see some serious tactics coming on before the climbs, actually, which would make this an extremely entertaining flat here, actually, as this part of the course tends to be a little less active when it comes to racing. DeAndre's not a part of the race, but hanging out, doing his ride on Zwift, being awesome. There's Andy Self leading out the group of, let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 riders. 7 riders in this lead group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I apologize. 9 riders in this lead group of the ZTR race, of this A group. It looks like anyone who is anywhere close as far as chasers go are a little ways back. Urison now and DeGrom coming to the front. I see nothing but Belgian flags on the front at this point. And Van Eycken as well, a part of that TKBE. They have 4 riders actually in this front group. And my goodness, Jay Bobbink coming from a ZTR EB B group perhaps, or the B race, only 22 seconds back as they're all looking at each other in this front group. Perhaps needing an upgrade to A. I think it's time to upgrade to A, Bobbink, as he is pulling this group back in with an amazing effort, sitting at 180 beats per minute. Now dropping down to 1.0.6 watts per kilogram, putting in a huge effort to try and catch these guys. And the next riders on course are over a minute back. If we go over a minute back, we'll probably lose the front group at this point. Loft and shove for the win, coming from Allison Duck in chat. Thank you, Allison Duck. Yes, everyone, please show Loft and Shove some huge support. Visit their website, perhaps pick up a shirt or some sort of gear as far as a soft goods is what they're doing mainly. They are an amazing company. They support all kinds of preems at our races locally here, and now they're trying to break into a national and international venue here with Zwift and these Vision Cycling live broadcasts. Go ahead and visit their website, perhaps grab a hat or a shirt or something to say, hey, thank you so much for supporting Zwift and supporting these races. Loftandshove.com is where that is at. Just linked in chat as well in Twitch. We will link Loft and Shove as well in the channel description, as well as below in the YouTube video on demand description. And now it looks like these front riders not necessarily being comfortable, as I was told by a few of the riders. I don't think any of us are just looking at each other and just being comfortable at all during these times that they are just on the flats, but they are definitely not attacking each other. I have been using that term here and there of just comfortable to look at each other. No, these riders are definitely not comfortable sitting at 160 beats per minute as their resting heart rates and their sitting heart rates are probably about 100 lower than that, but they are not attacking each other, and they are mentally comfortable to look at the group and figure out where they stand and how an attack should be made to try and get away from them. The racing in Zwift, again, is a lot like real life, almost identical as far as the drafting aspect goes, the use of a group, the speeds that you will ride at in a group. So these riders do not want to try and get away from the rest of the group at this point, because it is very flat and it's very easy for the group to simply pull you back in, because those who are drafting, for those of you who don't know a lot about cycling perhaps, or are new to the idea of drafting and cycling, let's go ahead and select DeGrom here. DeGrom currently sitting at 2.8 watts per kilogram as an example, and on the front of this group we're seeing somewhere in the 4.9 watts per kilogram. He's having to put out somewhere between 20 to 60% less effort just sitting in the draft. And so it is a huge, huge advantage to simply sit in the draft. So a group of riders can go ahead and sit in the draft and rest and allow their muscles to recover, and then move forward to the front and put down an effort while the riders behind draft and rest. And they simply can just rotate to pull in a solo rider who has to take all that headwind directly on themselves and power against it. And so there is definitely an advantage in game to drafting, and that is why on these flats a lot of times you are seeing them all kind of just hang out and look at each other as in, who's going to make the next move? When is something going to happen? At what point do I need to cover a move? And so they're essentially waiting at this point. As you can see up here in the upper right-hand corner, they're on lap 2 at this point of 3 laps. So they're on lap 3. I apologize. They're on lap 3 right now. They've completed 2 laps, and they are coming into the finish for who is going to win this race for final placements after they complete this downhill in the upper right hand corner. Here you can see the course profile. They're heading to the right. They're going from left to right. Currently the rider I've selected is this orange banner. They're going to come down this hill, and there are going to be 3 last climbs right here that are going to be the deciding factors in this Zwift training race on the Richmond World's course. Currently we have what looks to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 riders, with a couple of riders who happen to be on course hanging out amongst this pack. This is an open course. There are no rules. These are user-organized events at this point, and so there are no rules about who can hang and who cannot hang along with the pack. Right here we have a guy that they just caught who is in the middle of a workout in workout mode. Let's see if we can find him. I think this is him right here. No, that is not. G. Lunt, perhaps? No? CYC? Also a rider who just happens to be in and amongst the group here. And here we go with LSGSA. No. Is he in workout mode? With 5.8 but has ZTR on his name? I think he might have accidentally showed up late and just happened to have ZTR EB on his name because he only has 5.9 miles in. So he said, look, I showed up late, let's just get a workout in, and he is using workout mode right now. Currently hanging out at 260 watts or so, holding it pretty steady, perhaps doing an FTP test or some sort of intervals that look like a repeated effort of some sort of longer duration at this point. Looks like there's a new Alienware kit in game. Shout out to Alienware. Looking to be, it looks like some sort of partner or some sort of kit at least in the Zwift game. Alienware being what looks like to be the official computer that Zwift is using for whenever it demos at this point, and as well as one of the suggested builds for Zwifting in game. It looks like, from what I'm told from Hugo from Team Z, he says in chat that Steven Titgat and DeGrom are real-life cycling buddies, and I would not be surprised coming from the same team, TKBE. TKBE well represented in this front group. E. Angeli, Van Eycken now on the front at 4.2. Let's go ahead and let our racers know that there are prizes. Prizes for first, second, and third place. $25, $15, and $10. Going to first, second, and third place today. Everyone now seriously resting up, it looks like. Well, perhaps not. Van Eycken looking like he is at 168 beats per minute. We'll see if he's able to hold on. Maybe just trying to work for his teammate, C. DeGrom, sitting at 130 beats per minute. So perhaps definitely some sort of team tactics taking place here where he just makes sure that the pace is high while C. DeGrom sits in and watches. Now at this point, we've got about 9 riders or so heading in to the cobbled climbs. So let's see how this plays out between these riders. As we have about 4 Belgians on the same team. Jernst coming out of the Netherlands. Angeli from the USA. Alexis Luge from France. There's quite the international front group here. Hammering, trying to represent. And Bobbink, look at Bobbink, only 5 seconds back, trying to make the juncture up to this group. This has been a monstrous effort by Bobbink. Is he gonna just come right by the group? This is amazing. Makes the juncture at 186 and just coming into the climb. I'm not sure at this point. Let's see how many meters back he is. DeGrom now looking at Bobbink, sitting at, we're trying to get it. Where is Bobbink? Where is Bobbink? Cannot see it, just back. About 1 second back. I'm not seeing the meters. I think it's about 11 meters. He is just off. And here comes the serious attack from Poland with Chmielewski and Ernst saying, I'm just going to hammer right from the bottom. This is the kind of attack we saw from him on Watopia last Thursday, 9.6 watts per kilogram. He's sitting at 168. I think his heart rate probably maxed to somewhere in the 180 perhaps, maybe high 170s. Titgat having to follow, having to close this down. I don't think that this will be the deciding factor. It perhaps will. The continuance up and over this would be amazing if he can. It looks like they're comfortable to let Ernst just go at this point. It doesn't look like anybody's following. Now the Belgians might get together up and over the top here and chase down the rider from the Netherlands. Ernst, 560, 552, 600. Still hammering at 100 RPMs. Looking back behind him, I'm only seeing one rider, Urissen, a Z-Power rider, closing it down at this point. It looks like he's got about a 10-second gap back to the next rider. We'll give Ernst a ride on at this point. Now, what is nice about this, though, is that Urissen has not dragged anyone along with him at this point. Ernst has 12 seconds. He's going to have to show continuance. He's sitting at 5.4 watts per kilogram, 171 beats per minute. We'll see if he can hold on. See if he can hold on at this point for the win. And $25 in his pocket. Representing Team Z out of Colorado is their headquarters. They are a non-profit doing great works in Nepal to reduce human suffering. Amazing stuff that they are doing. Let's see here what the chase is looking like. Alexis Luge, 27 seconds back. Let's go ahead. $25, first place. $15 second. $10 third. Thanks Loft and Shove. Now Urissen coming up over the top. I believe Ernst will just let that go. We'll see. Maybe he'll pull it in. At this point, 17 seconds back to Alexis Luge. The Grom on his tail. The Z-Power leader on course, so with an asterisk next to their name, is Urissen at this point. Second place, but first place amongst Vision Cycling rankings for the prize money is Ernst. Chmielewski pulling up the Titgat and Alexis Luge de Grom. So there's a group of four here fighting for second and third place amongst the Vision Cycling standings for the prize money at this point. It looks like Ernst with a 30-second gap is not going to be pulled in. Ernst looks to be winning the Loft and Shove prize of first place at this point. Chmielewski, DeGrom. Looks like Alexis Titgat as well, just hanging on. Angeli, 10 seconds off. Let's go, Angeli. Pull those boys in. 176 beats. He is suffering hard at this point, just hanging on at 313 watts. Let's go, USA. Little shout out from your caster here. De Grom from Belgium, Titgat from Belgium, the teammates trying to work together against the Frenchman and the Polish rider at this point. Ernst now hammering, gonna fight with the Belgian Urissen from TKBE. Here comes your winning moves. And now Ernst just hanging on at 6.1 watts per kilogram, 400 watts, 160, 170 beats. Making a move to get past at this point. It looks like this is going to be a consistent and steady suffering effort. That's what this is like up and over the top of this climb. This climb is always just this continual push, 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 push. It's such a long climb that you can't just nail it, and you've already done these huge efforts before, so it's just this steady grind at some sort of a VO2 max effort, usually 5 to 6 to 7 watts per kilogram. How long can you just hold on? And then it looks to level out, but it actually isn't level. It still is this false flat all the way up and through. Now, can Ernst kick again? He's just sitting on Urisen's wheel at this point. Is he going to kick again? Is he going to kick again? 7 watts per kilogram coming out of Urisen. It looks like he will not be able to pull Urisen in, but the official results for Ernst will be that he has won the Loft and Shove, prize for first place. It looks like, hey, Angeli, perhaps come around Chmielewski pulled those guys in at this point, and it looks like he is going to be your second place, and we'll go ahead and make sure that we get this. Jay Urison coming across the line, and then second place on the day, but first place amongst the winners of the prize money is going to be Ernst. Chmielewski gonna ride in for third place. And now the fight for the money between Alexis Luge and E. Angeli for third place on the podium. Second and third place on the podium. It looks like Angeli is just going to pull it off ahead of Alexis Luge, and DeGrom then right behind them. E. Angeli, Alexis Luge, and C. DeGrom. Ticket bringing it in then behind them. Jay Van Eycken and A-Self fighting it out at this point. A-Self just nipping him at the line. Andy Self just getting the Belgian rider. Van Eycken just barely at the line at this point. Great job to all the riders. Let's go ahead and try and find our chase group that is out on course. A-Payne! What's going on, A-Payne? Looks like Payne may have had some sort of a mechanical, I'm not sure. Ganderton was caught by the chasers, it looks like. I didn't see Bobbink come in at this point. There are a lot of riders in this whole area, though, that we have to go and find our way through. PK hammered on the front at 6.6 watts per kilogram. Let's see who's going to win the sprint in this chase group. It looks like PK and SOX are going to fight it out. Peter Klein, the winner of our KOM, also it looks like going to be the winner today of the last sprint on course. Just maybe Ox. Oh my gosh, this is such a battle. Look at it. This is such a great battle between PK and Ox. Peter Klein and S-Ox. PK throwing down one final effort just to say, no, this is mine. S-Ox just coming in right behind him. Ganderton coming across the line behind them. And then De Vrent out of Belgium. Belgian also now coming through. It looks like your top 10 are already in. We're looking at top 9 riders, or top 20 riders now at this point. Enlaw crossing the line right behind them. But getting nipped at the line by MC, it looks like. Perhaps nipped just at the line by MMC, by a teammate of all from Team X, the X-Men. Just getting nipped at the line. Let's go ahead and see some of these other battles happening here. My avatar on course. Not seen this tri-team before. Frank Garcia now coming in. I believe this S. Van Herwig is racing the race. Does not have ZTR by their name, but has 30.3 miles in. RBS Bucelato, I know this guy. I've raced with this guy in mountain bike races, I believe. RBS out of Michigan, actually. Team RBS coming around Van Herwig at this point. without ZTR by their name, but having 30.3 miles so far, I believe is a part of the race at this point. And Busalato, I believe is how we're going to say that name, putting a gap between himself and Van Heurig. D. Ronan, the Irish rider, and O'Brien trying to chase them down, getting together earlier on the climb though, but it looks like Busalato was able to put down enough wattage to create a gap, a comfortable gap. Can he hold on to 4.3, 4 or so watts per kilogram and remain off the front of those riders at this point? JT did win again, our pain. JT did win again. All details on payouts will be posted in the Zwift Riders group as well as the event page on Facebook. Yeah, JT is definitely intimidating. That is for sure. I have not raced against him yet, but he perhaps is the stronger rider. I'll have to race against him and we'll see, right? But he is definitely crazy strong. Looks like Busalato's going to pull it off here ahead of Van Heurig for TKBE, Team TKBE. D. Ronan bringing it in for the Irish. O'Brien, I think, just ahead of him. And then D. Ronan. Guys, please put ZTR by your name if you can. Makes it much easier to find you on course and give shout outs to you on course that you are racing. Now looking at our top 20 to 30 riders coming in. Just trying to see a couple battles here as they come in for the B race. Great Trick coming in for the B race just ahead of A. Holmstrom. Has a 4-second gap. Looks like he's going to be pulling it off. As you can see here, the gap behind him is about 38 meters that he's going to have to Holmstrom. Holmstrom then coming across the line. A lot of riders still coming in. Neckers from looks like the Netherlands ahead of the next rider, M. Thompson of Great Britain, and Frank Garcia. Has Frank not finished yet? Where is Garcia? Or maybe Garcia finished and just restarted his ride. I'm not sure. Looks like Neckers is going to come in ahead of Thompson here. A. Torma and F. Garcia looks to be pedaling his way in, perhaps on the super blow up at this point. Give him the ride on so he knows he's live on screen. Did all the work he needed to for the X-Men. And I think that we are going to then call it, guys, as far as the broadcast goes for today's Tuesday ZTR Early Birds race here on Zwift Virtual Cycling Software. Thank you so much to everybody who has joined in. Make sure to hit that follow button to show support of the channel. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. There will be a VOD highlight I will do shortly here, so you can go ahead and watch on YouTube, watch a full replay. All those winners, make sure to contact me on Facebook. I will also put winners of the Loft and Shove Preem and the Vision Cycling KOMs up on Facebook in the events and as well as in channel here. Make sure to visit loftandshove.com and show some support to our presenting sponsor today, who hooked up the prize money for the winners for first, second, and third place on regular power, as well as give a shout out to Vision Cycling, who is the main sponsor of this whole broadcast, as well as the KOM today. Congratulations to all of our riders, and thanks everybody for joining. We'll see you on Thursday for the broadcast of the Zwift training race Early Birds here on Twitch. Thanks everybody for joining. quick little Loft and Shove shout out.
Loft and shove is just a term that I made up out of the clear blue sky, and the idea in my head was to achieve through hard work. At the time I was in a mountain bike race, so it was kind of fitting. People started yelling it out when we were in the race, you know, shooting down a fast section or whatever. I'd hear this loft and shove, and kind of just rolled from there. You know, there is probably some aggressiveness to it, a lot of it's attitude. But if you're a mountain biker and you're out there in the battle, you know, flying down a hill or even in a climb, that's there anyway. It just kind of fits naturally. You know, you could translate that into other things like marathons or soccer or whatever. I mean, the idea is that you're loft and shove, you know, you're pushing your way out to the front to transform into living life in the lead. The coolness of loft and shove is just an extension of your desire to excel, no matter what it is. Is it your job at work where you're trying to, you know, get up the ladder and get that next position? Maybe you're entering your chili in a chili contest. I make a great chili. Jalapenos, you know, lots of beans and beef. Don't go for a ride afterwards. Your buddies will not be happy with you. You know, yeah, you can buy clothes from anywhere and get that stuff all shipped in from China or something. This is the guy out of the garage. What sets us off is really going to be the quality of the design work. You know, Greg Martinez showed me some designs. We were talking about making one simple shirt, and it was so fabulous, the design, that I said, you know, we could probably do something with this. Sponsor some creams and races, whether it's money or prize, goes directly to the racer. The idea behind it is that not everybody's a pro at what they do. Amateurs, even, you know, Cat 1 guys that aren't pro, are working super hard. Giving back to that community is what I like to do. Those are the guys that are aspiring to live life in the lead, for sure.
So huge shout out, guys, to our presenting sponsor today, Loft and Shove. Thanks for sticking around to check them out, watch their video. Make sure to visit the links in chat that I just throw out there. Check out their website, and maybe throw, you know, if you're looking for any kind of gear right now, shirts, hats, all kinds of merchandise, maybe go ahead and show them some support for the support that they have shown today in our racing. I'm going to go ahead and get ready for my ride. And we will be back. Our official broadcast has ended. We are now moving into Share Life with Nathan in training mode. So I'll probably be doing the Gordy today again, some VO2 max efforts. We're going to go ahead and head over to our coffee break screen and throw some music up in the background. I'm going to stop stream very quickly and then bring it back up because I want to be able to highlight today's race and upload it to YouTube. So I will be right back.